What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so this is the situation we have right here. Ian has strengthened into a hurricane once again. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this hurricane is very resilient. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and show you some of the satellite imagery that we're taking a look at. This is the high res right here. Look at how massive this eye is right here. That is what the end result of this hitting Florida right there. Where it was, like, yesterday at this point, it looked very compact, very clean, very symmetrical. Look at the kind of mess this is right here, right now. And this really goes to show that even though this thing is pretty sheared, even though this thing looks pretty disheveled, this thing does not want to quit. And we had the latest public advisory right here. We have hurricane warnings throughout the entire coast of South Carolina. So yeah, this is what we're looking at right here. Maximum sustained winds have increased to 75 miles per hour. Look at this. Hurricane force winds extend out 45 miles from the center. Tropical storm force winds extend out 415 miles from the center. And if you think about this, this is a very large area if you think about it, because this is just 75 mile per hour winds right there. So yeah, this is pretty crazy. If we take a look at this, this is a very massive system right here. So yeah, and this is where the hurricane force winds are right here. And this thing still likely has a little less than this, but it likely still has a day over water. So this thing could definitely strengthen more than an 80 mile per hour hurricane like the NHC is anticipating, because the waters are still pretty warm. There's still good ocean heat content this thing can work with. And the shear, while it's not that great, it still is manageable at this point. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. We'll go ahead and show you the track models and the intensity. Track models have this thing making landfall in the next 24 hours by 2 p.m. on Friday right here. So if you're in South Carolina, prepare for Hurricane Ian to make its final landfall before moving inland and potentially dissipating. Intensity models are mostly keeping it around 75, maybe 80, 85 miles per hour at the max. But considering that this thing is so resilient and everything like that, honestly, it could go as high as 90 miles per hour in my opinion, but that is just my opinion. And even still, that's nowhere near the 150 mile per hour landfall we had yesterday. So yeah, this is going to be a very crazy system. Look, and I want to show you something else as well. There is still tropical storm force winds through a lot of Florida. There is tropical storm force winds in South Carolina, even though this system has not made landfall yet. It really goes to show that hurricanes, they're not one spot on the map. They expand out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles. And this graphic right here proves it. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and show you some model runs right here. We're going to show you the GFS, the HMON, the HWRF. The GFS has this thing strengthening, organizing, developing. The pressure goes down to, if we can go back here, it goes down to 979 millibars. It's currently at 986. Makes landfall around 85 miles per hour right there. Moves inland right here. And that's pretty much the last we'll hear of that. And then we'll go ahead and show you the HMON right here, the HMON system right here. This thing is moving off, organizing, developing. This eye is absolutely massive right here. So, yeah, this is what we're looking at. It does strengthen to 984 millibars. It makes landfall around 80 miles per hour according to HMON in upstate South Carolina right there. Moves through the country right there through West Virginia and kind of dissipates, and that's the last we will hear of that. And the HWRF system, we're going to show you this real quickly. The HWRF kind of moves this thing once again out here and makes landfall in South Carolina. It's around a 977 millibar system. This has it making landfall around 90 miles per hour, 95 miles per hour if we can go a little bit more than that, but the NHC doesn't do 95 miles per hour, so yeah, around 90 miles per hour seems to be a good estimate according to the HWRF right there. This thing moves into South Carolina right there, kind of dissipates, and that's the last we'll hear of that. Also, what we are also paying attention to, we're going to go ahead and pull this back right here. This system right here, this new area of interest that has a 30% chance of development in the next 5 days right here. This was what the European has been tagging, as well as a bunch of other models. We have the CMC, JMA, GFS, all those models that are picking up on this. Potentially this could become a hurricane out in the eastern Atlantic Ocean right there and impact the Leeward Islands, but we'll get to that in just a second, but we'll show you this real quickly. A tropical wave moving off the west coast of Africa is producing a broad area of showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions appear generally conducive for gradual development of the system, though through early next week, as it moves westward to west-northwestward in the eastern tropical Atlantic. 30% chance of formation in the next 5 days. So we're actually going to go ahead and pull up the satellite imagery for that region over there, the eastern Atlantic. This is this tropical wave we're looking at right here. This is what we've been tagging and paying attention to right there. It already kind of is starting to develop. We're seeing an increasing amount of convection with this system. So, yeah. Definitely something to keep an eye on for the next few days. Let's go ahead and show you the latest forecast models. We're going to go ahead and pull them up in the North Atlantic right here. We're going to show you the European system right here. This is the 12Z of the European model run right there. This is the latest that is out. The European has this thing developing in the next 4 days, potentially strengthening a tropical storm strength, and then kind of starts making a west-northwestward turn, strengthening into a hurricane right there, and then it kind of makes more of a westward turn, kind of jogs a little bit in between, kind of fluctuates right here and there. So, yeah, and this is basically what we're looking at right there. It does weaken to tropical storm or even tropical depression strength as wind shear is more pronounced in that area. Something we'll have to keep an eye on right there. We'll show you the CMC just to cross-check all of this, just to show you what's going on. The CMC also has this thing developing right there. It has it moving more towards the north and everything like that. But yeah, this is where it is right there. It kind of organizes, develops, and strengthens right there. Potentially reaching strong tropical storm strength right there, as it's basically in the center of the Atlantic right there, and where it goes, we are not entirely sure. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out, helps me make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. If you are in South Carolina, I want you to pay very close attention to Hurricane Ian as it is approaching. Even though it's much weaker than it was when it hit Florida, it is still a threat to you guys, so please take this very seriously. So with that being said, have a wonderful day. Stay safe.